welcome to another caffeinated entertainment video. This is Art with a book review for Mr. Mercedes. This is day 2 of book review week. Day 1 was The Midnight Line by Jack Reacher, but this is day 2, and this is book 1 in the Bill Hodges trilogy, Mr. Mercedes. This book was amazing. It's well crafted. It's a bit of a chunker, I'll admit. I'm sure the Finders Keepers and End of Watch books 2 and 3 respectively get just as big, if not bigger, but the book series is... the book trilogy started off with an amazing beginning. It's a little slow in the beginning, but I think it had to be to set up the world, because remember, this is the first book in the trilogy, so it has to be a little slow to set up the world. And with that respect in mind, it was very, very good. The ending kept my pulse pounding. I didn't want to do anything but read the book on my Kindle or listen to it in Audible. This book was always open in one form or another. I can't recommend this book more highly enough. The writing was very on point. It was very well cultured, I will say. Stephen King's a very well cultured author. He very much has his thought process in the mind of pop culture. I'm going to stop holding up the book now. He very much has his mind in the mind of pop culture. He very much has his thought process on the pulse of what's going on as he's currently writing the book. I saw parallels in the book to actual real world things. There's a parallel to One Direction. There's a parallel to the Beatles. You know, there's a parallel to Nerds, and a little bit of a flavoring of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo in there. There's also a lot of dark humor and a lot of funny humor and good humor, but mostly dark. There's the dog with the bone trope that I find in most mystery thriller type series, which I like. And Bill Hodges is enough of a different type of protagonist to make it worth reading. He has enough flaws in him to make him feel human, which is a very hard thing to do when you consider humans are real quirky, and if the characters aren't three-dimensional book, they can be very flat on the page. And yes, this is where you enter the joke that the words are flat on the page anyway. But you know what I mean, like when you picture the world that Mr. Mercedes envelops, you picture it in a 3D mindset, and the better it's written, the easier it is to picture, and the less difficult it is to wrap yourself up in the world. I found Mr. Mercedes very engrossing. I found it spectacular, to be honest. It was a little bit slow in the beginning, but like I said, I forgive it that because I feel like it needed to be, because of it being the first book in a trilogy and setting up the entire plot line and world for the entire trilogy, not just one book. So, with that said, I have to give Mr. Mercedes a full 5 stars. This was a thrill ride I'll never forget. I like how he had it broken up, and I like how the chapters sometimes started in the middle of the page, because that's just the way it was. I can't recommend this book enough. I feel this is Stephen King returned to his classic form. Yes, it's not horror, but it is classic Stephen King in the sense of it's edge of your seat. You're going to be up all night reading the book, and then you're going to find it that once you finish the book, you can't stop thinking about the book. It is very much a stick-with-you type read. So, in that respect, I say you gotta buy it, you gotta own it, you gotta love it. 5 stars on Goodreads. I can't recommend it enough, and I'm not a shill for Stephen King. I do like most of his work, but there are some of his works that I don't like. And when we get there, I'll express that. Like, he's not a perfect writer, but in this instance, this is a writer perfecting his craft to the best of his ability, and he achieved his goal of writing a damn good novel. So without further ado, that's going to do it for this book review of Mr. Mercedes. I recommend everybody go out and read it. I don't care if you buy it. I don't care if you borrow it from a friend. I don't care if you borrow it from your local library. Just consume this book. So without further ado, I'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment down below if you've also read Mr. Mercedes and what you thought of it. Or let me know if End of Watch and Finders Keepers, books 3 and 2, as the order I said them, but 2 and 3 in opposite order. Let me know if they're as good or better than Mr. Mercedes. Should I keep on reading with the series? What were your thoughts? Let me know. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I produce videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Central on most weeks, but this week I will see you tomorrow with yet another book review, because we're right in the middle, smack dab of it'll be day 3 of 8 of book review week. You're welcome. See you next time, and happy reading.